In this lesson, we're going to look at time conversions using a calculator. It's effectively going to be a calculator skills lesson. The first type of question we're going to look at is how to convert from hours to minutes. Let's look at our first example. Convert 9 hours and 24 minutes to minutes. So we need to know that 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. And to start, we'll convert 9 hours into minutes. So if 1 hour is 60 minutes, 9 hours is going to be 9 times 60 minutes. And it's a calculator lesson, so I can do 9 multiplied by 60 on my calculator, and it gives me 540 minutes. I've converted my hours into minutes. We want to then put that all together. So convert 9 hours and 24 minutes to minutes. So I'll say 9 hours and 24 minutes is equal to the 9 hours in minutes, which we have said is 540 minutes. Add on the 24 minutes. And this gives me an answer of 540 add 24, which is 564 minutes. And that's my answer. Pause the video and give this question a go. To do it, you'll need to know that there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. So you should have converted your 120 minutes into 7,200 seconds by multiplying by 60. And then you should have done 7,200 add 11 to give you a final answer of 7,211 seconds. Then our next question, it asks us to convert 689 minutes to hours in minutes. And then we also want to convert it into decimal hours. So by decimal hours, we mean something like this. So 1.5 hours, that kind of thing. On my calculator, I can actually do this directly. So in the calculator that I'm using, in order to do that, I want to tell my calculator that I have 689 minutes. So what I'll do is I'll start by typing in a 0 and I'll hit Shift plus. And if you notice, this little box pops up above the 0. What I've told my calculator at this point is that I have 0 hours. Then I can type in 689 and do Shift plus. And again, the little box pops up. At this point, my calculator reads this as 0 hours, 689 minutes. And that's all I need to type in. If I kept going, let's say I had seconds, let's say I had 50 seconds, I would type 50, Shift plus, and my calculator reads it as 0 hours, 689 minutes, and 50 seconds. Obviously, we don't have that. Now, if I hit the execute button, what it does for me is it converts it into hours, minutes, and seconds. So I know that 689 minutes is 11 hours and 29 minutes. So that's definitely the best way to do it if your calculator can do that. If your calculator can't do that, the other way to do it is to take your 689, divide it by 60, and what this is doing is it's telling you how many hours go into the 689 minutes. So I'll do 689, divide it by 60, and this will give me 11.48. So it gives me 11.48, 3 recurring. Okay. What that means is that 689 minutes is equal to 11 hours with some amount left over. What I can then do is I can work out what 11 hours is in terms of minutes by multiplying by 60. So I'll do 11 multiplied by 60. And if you see, that takes me to 660 minutes. And all I want to do is see, okay, well, what's left over if I have 689 minutes? I take away 11 hours, which is my 660 minutes, what's left over? So I would do my 689, take away my 660, and that would give me an answer of 29. So in other words, this 11.483 recurring is 11 hours, that's your 660 minutes, with 29 minutes left over. It gives us that same answer we got the other way. Okay. Part B, we want to convert 689 minutes to decimal hours. So same idea as before, we're going to type in 0, Shift plus, that's told my calculator no hours, 689 minutes, Shift plus, and that's the setup that I need to use for this. This time I'll hit execute and it gives me the same answer as before, 11 hours and 29 minutes, but instead this time I'm going to hit the format button down at the bottom, and I want to turn it into a decimal like this. And it gives me the 11.483 recurring like this. Now, of course, we could also have done that by doing the 689 minutes divided by 60, and that would also give me my answer. The reason I showed you this way is because let's say you'd already turned it into 11 hours and 29 minutes, and you wanted to just quickly turn that into a decimal, all you'd have to do is hit format and turn it into a decimal like that. Pause the video and give this question a go. Convert 9,560 minutes to hours and minutes. So I'll go to my calculator, I'll type in 0 hours, and then I'll type in 9560 shift plus, telling my calculator that I've got 9,560 minutes. I'll hit the execute button, and it comes out as this answer of 159 hours and 20 minutes. I want to turn it into decimal hours. I'll hit the format button. I'll navigate down to decimal, and it tells me that it's 159.3 recurring hours. And this format can be really helpful in calculations. Our next example says convert 3.34 hours to hours, minutes, and seconds. And we can do this using our calculator very easily. I just type in 3.34, and I want to tell my calculator that this is hours, so I hit Shift plus, and then what I do is I hit the execute button, and my calculator converts the decimal hour into what we want, which is 3 hours, 20 minutes, and 24 seconds. So let me just write that. I'll say 3.34 hours is equal to 3 hours, 20 minutes, and 24 seconds, like that. Now I give this question a go. So 7.54 hours is equal to 7 hours, 32 minutes, and 24 seconds. Our next example says convert 7,340 seconds to hours, minutes, and seconds. Go over to my calculator, I'll type 0, shift plus, I've got 0 hours, I've got no minutes, but I've been told that I have 7,340 seconds, shift plus, like this. Hit the execute button, and it comes out as this, 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 20 seconds. So 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 20 seconds is my answer. Pause the video and give this question a go. So convert 860 seconds to minutes and seconds. I'm just going to type in this into my calculator, hit the execute button, and it tells me my answer is 14 minutes and 20 seconds. The way to do this, if your calculator doesn't have these functions, is to take your 860 seconds, and you want to divide that by 60 seconds. And this answer is going to tell you how many minutes are in 860 seconds. So you take your 860, divide it by 60, and it gives you this answer of 14.3 recurring. This answer is going to be minutes. That's how many minutes are in 860 seconds. Then what I'll do is I'll work out how many seconds are in 14 minutes by multiplying by 60. So I do 14 multiplied by 60. Gives me this answer of 840 seconds. So I know that this little bit left over, the 0.3 recurring, is going to be the difference between the 840 and the 860. So 860 take away 840 is 20 seconds. So 14.3 recurring is 14 minutes, 20 seconds, like we had above. Okay, our next question, convert 0.58 minutes to seconds. Again, we can use this clever function on our calculator. This time I've got 0.58 minutes, so I need to type that in and then type Shift plus. So now my calculator reads that as 0 hours, 0.58 minutes. And then if I hit the execute button, it tells me that that is equal to 34.8 seconds. So that's one way to do the question. The other way to do it is to know that 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. And if you think, how would you convert from minutes to seconds? Well, you'd multiply by 60. Because there are 60 seconds for every minute that you have. If I have 0.58 minutes, that also holds true. I would need to multiply that by 60. And I go to my calculator, I type 0.58, multiply that by 60, and it gives me the same answer of the 34.8 seconds. So 2 ways to do that there. Pause the video and give this question a go and use whichever method you prefer. I'm going to take my 0.37 minutes and I'm going to multiply that by 60. I think this method is just as quick as the other one in this case. Multiply it by 60 because there are 60 seconds in every minute. And this gives me an answer of 22.2 seconds. So hopefully you got that answer. The last example we're going to look at is using time in operations. So maybe we're adding times together or multiplying times together. Let's have a look. Brett works for 1 hour and 56 minutes in the morning and 4 hours and 23 minutes in the afternoon. How many hours and minutes did he work in total? So if Brett works for 1 hour and 56 minutes in the morning and he works for another 4 hours and 23 minutes in the afternoon, the total amount of time that he works is going to be the sum of these. So I'm going to say the total time is equal to 1 hour, 56 minutes, add on the 4 hours, 23 minutes. And this whole lesson is about showing you how to use your calculator to do that. So 1 shift plus, that's 1 hour, 56 minutes, shift plus. And then I can just hit the add button and then do the same thing. So 4 shift plus, that's telling my calculator 4 hours, and then 23 minutes. And my calculator will do this for me and give it to me in the right format. So if I hit the execute button, it tells me that he worked 6 hours and 19 minutes. The other way to do this question is to look at the hours and minutes separately. So the hours would be 1 hour in the first half of the day in the morning, and then 4 hours in the afternoon. So we know that that comes to 5 hours. And then we take our minutes, and this is going to go above 60, so we'll need to convert it back into hours. So we'd go 56 minutes, and we add on our 23 minutes. So that comes from this bit and this bit. And if we add those together, it gives us an answer of 79 minutes. And what we want to do is we want to take our 79 minutes and turn that into hours and minutes. Well, we know it's above 60, so take away 60 from it. In other words, take away 1 hour from that. That gives us a remainder of 19 minutes. And what that means is that the 79 minutes is 1 hour and 19 minutes. We can then combine the hours that we got from doing the 1 and the 4 with the 1 hour and 19 minutes, which we got from doing the 56 minutes and the 23 minutes. And that would give you the same answer of 6 hours and 19 minutes. Pause the video and give this question a go. Brad regularly drives to Dublin for work. Each round trip, that means there and back, takes him an average of 4 hours and 15 minutes. If he makes 9 round trips each month, how much time does he spend driving for these trips? The total time spent driving is going to be the 4 hours and 15 minutes, that's for every trip, multiplied by how many trips he takes each month. And it says he makes 9 round trips each month. So I'll do 4 hours 15 minutes multiplied by 9. The total time is equal to the 4 hours 15 minutes multiplied by 9. That's 9 trips. Let's see how we do that on our calculator. So come across and type 4 hours into your calculator and then 15 minutes. And then what we want to do is multiply that by 9. The brackets are not necessary in this case. Hit execute and it tells us that the total time he spent driving was 38 hours and 15 minutes. The other option you have for this question is to consider the hours and the minutes separately. So take your hours, there are 4 of those, multiply that part by 9. That's going to take you to 36 hours. And then consider your minutes. Well, there were 15 minutes. We need to multiply that by 9. So all I'm doing is I'm doing 4 multiplied by 9 and then doing 15 multiplied by 9. 15 multiplied by 9 is 135 minutes. Then what I can do is I can convert this 135 minutes into hours and minutes. Well, I know that the multiples of 60 minutes are going to be hours. So that 60 is 1 hour, 120 is 2 hours, 180 is 3 hours. So I know that it's above 2 hours, but less than 3 hours. What I'll do is I'll do my 135 minutes and I'll take away the 120 minutes, that's the 2 hours, to see what's left over, and that's 15 minutes left over. In other words, 135 minutes is 2 hours, 15 minutes. And then all I have to do is combine the 36 hours with the 2 hours and 15 minutes to give me my 38 hours, 15 minutes. If you're using our lesson booklets, you can now complete exercise 1.